So I'm gonna try to wrap up 3 fights in this video. Before I talk about that, I do want to give my condolences to Showtime Sports in a sense. Um, it sucks that they're going away and leaving boxing by the end of the year. We're talking a legacy broadcast, just like HBO. They did it for about 37 years. So I don't know, where boxing goes from here. It'll be scattered everywhere. Probably be on the DAZN app, maybe a little bit on ESPN. Who knows? But it is a big blow to the sport. So it really does suck. I would say that. I do hope that things could come to some sort of focus. Obviously, I just seen a thing where Terrence Crawford was tweeting at Oscar De La Hoya talking about how boxers need to take control of the situation, and De La Hoya think promoters do, but to be honest with you, I think everybody needs to come together. I do agree with Crawford, and maybe they can have their own sort of organization, just one organization for it all. It's wishful thinking anyway. The fights that did go past, I made a little short about Jamel Charlo versus, Canelo Alvarez, which I thought was always going to be a mismatch, and it was. It really was more of a just how long can Charlo last, because he would just look like he didn't commit to any punches. He just threw things to get out the way. It was survival, it looked like. So, he didn't look like he came in there to win at all. And that was the thing with that situation. But yeah. Yes, that's the thing about that. Like, that fight was a waste of time, and when it happened, it looked like a waste of time. It really leads into the next fight I'm about to talk about. But I thought that Canelo Alvarez should have been fighting David Benavidez. I thought that's who the next guy was. It only made sense, but he fought somebody who wasn't even in his weight class. That was a novelty fight for sure. That was just money. But, instead it opened up the doors for Andrade. Demetrius Andrade versus David Benavidez is a very big fight. Very big for Andrade. This is his big time shot. This is his big name. For years he chased the Charlo brothers. He chased GGG. He chased Canelo, and I would say he got ducked a lot. So, some on his part, some not on his part. But at the end of the day, this is his first shot. Now, it is a little late in the game at 35. There's nothing wrong with age, but in boxing, it matters. It matters a lot sometimes. David Benavidez is no slouch. As much as I like Demetrius Andrade. I love his skills. I love the angles he throws at, how he mixes up his styles and rhythms. Sometimes it'll be boxing. Sometimes it'll be just wow, if athleticism or something like that. Um, I just don't believe he'll win this fight. I want him to win, but I don't believe he'll win. And the reason is because Benavidez, he gets stronger as the fight goes on, like a grinder. So once he gets settled in with his punches, it starts to be like a grinder almost. So that's what he did to Caleb Plant. He came on as the fight, went on further. So eventually, he just that constant barrage of power punches and just throwing that volume and that pressure of stalking you down. It got to him. It's the pressure. And after pressure, David Benavidez be throwing the heat. And it's like he throwing combos. Like combos. He has some very fast hands. So I do see Demetrius Andrade, making this competitive. I do see him giving him a couple of problems in those first few rounds, just like Plant did. Plant was able to outbox him for a little bit and show, that Benavidez can get caught up in some things. But eventually it's like his tank, his battery doesn't deplete very, very fast. So I see somewhere in here where David Benavidez gets to Andrade in those later rounds. Maybe in the 10th or 11th, we'll see a knockdown or something like that. I do expect to see a really, really good Andrade for this fight. And I'm not saying he can't win. And I do think if he does win, it will probably be by like a points decision. If he can, manage to outbox, and stay away from Benavidez that long. That's the alternative. It's him by points. I just can't see him winning by points though. Yeah, I really see this one going to Benavidez. And I like Andrade, but it's like just looking at it from a stylistic standpoint. But we'll see, because he can always just outbox him and surprise me and surprise the world. And it's not like he wouldn't have it in him to. So the next fight is let's see. We'll do this next. Shakur Stevenson versus Gio de los Santos. Let's see. No, it's Edwin de los Santos. I think I saw his last fight. Well, he's not a bad boxer. Definitely not. He's very slick. Let's see, 16 fights, 14 KOs, 1 loss. Yeah. No, the thing is this can be a tricky fight for Stevenson. But something tells me that this is going to be another one of those performances where he probably, shuts out the guy. Maybe not. I mean, you know what? No, let me not say that. De Los Santos does present enough things to give him a competitive fight. But at the end of the day, I still think Shakur Stevenson will do enough where he'll win by a unanimous decision. I really believe a lot in his skills. Even seeing how he handled his last guy, man, he handled him like he was nothing. So, at this point, Edwin De Los Santos will probably be good in the first 3 rounds. And then after that, I expect Shakur to turn on from there. I'm just saying, that's how I see it. I could just see it happening. Him catching him, And then, yeah. It's not that Edwin De Los Santos, I think, he's gonna get stuck in his one mode. Excuse me. And when Stevenson shows that speed, I think what he's gonna happen is he's gonna make Santos gun shy or very, very, very cautious about what he counters, but that's gonna lower his output, his punch output. So that's how I really see it. It's gonna be competitive until he get caught with a really good counter, by Stevenson, and then I think that from there it's gonna turn into a very slow-paced fight where De Los Santos is gonna be very defensive from that point. That's just how I see it going. Could obviously go a different way. Let's see. So for that, it definitely, like I said, Shakur Stevenson for that fight. Either unanimous decision or a late round stoppage. That's how I see it. Like I said, I think he's gonna shut down De Los Santos' output due to some really good counters. And from there, he's just gonna work him over into the no match hands, or he's gonna catch him and really put him out. So yeah. In the third fight, Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. I think this is a really a sleeper fight. I'm really excited to see how Haney's going to perform. Now that he's moved up from 135 to 140. And then I'm really excited for Regis Prograis, because this is his other really big shot at a really good name. Who do I expect to win this fight? Um, it's always hard to say. Um, I like Prograis. There's a real fight. I'm pretty sure he won't be, he'll be cleaning up a lot of things, or hopefully he will, from the Zorilla fight. But it did show there was a glaring weakness in that fight, is that he didn't know how to properly cut off the ring. And maybe that presents something against Devin Haney, who's really good with his footwork. I'm not going to bet against Haney. I'm not. I do like Prograis. But Prograis is beatable. It's not like he's not beatable. So, he's going to put up a good fight. But I think what happens is I think Devin Haney can counter him, and time him coming in, make him rush into shots. He might pop shot a lot, but I do think that Haney's boxing skills is gonna kind of suppress Prograis. I do see him controlling the fight. Maybe there's some times that Prograis might buzz Haney or something like that, so it could be a split decision win. But I do see Devin Haney winning this fight. If Prograis wins, I do think he has the ability to knock out Devin Haney if he gets to him. But that's the thing. Can he get to him? Devin Haney is very, very slick. And, he's very twitchy, very fast. And that's the thing. It's like, I think the hand speed will get to Prograis. I think he'll get overwhelmed at some points. He won't pull the trigger. I think if Prograis is going to win this fight, he has to make it a dog fight. Sort of like what he did with Josh Taylor. Go in there, kind of brawl, rough house. You can't make it a boxing fight with Devin Haney. You have to make it I think you have to make it a brawl with Devin Haney. It's sort of like, you have to brawl him. I'm not talking like what's my man's name? Just a straight a bull or anything like that, but you have to go on the inside, I think, and really rough him up to really get him off his square. If Prograis can get into the inside and fight comfortably, I think that's when you can see. That's when you're gonna see him probably shine. But until then, I do think Devin Haney has the discipline and what it takes to stay at the right range and keep Prograis, at that right range enough times in the fight. So that's why I see Devin Haney winning this fight. Like I said, most likely by like a split decision. I can see that. Yeah. But I do see him winning this fight. And yeah, no, those are some good fights coming up. You know, obviously once again, just to recap, you know, I like Andrade, but I do think that his how he goes down in his activity will work against him against somebody like Benavidez, who ramps up their activity as the bout goes on. And I think that will be the downfall of Demetrius Andrade in that fight. As much as I like Andrade, I think he'll look good, he'll look flashy, he'll hit him probably with some dazzling punches here and there. But overall, I do think the volume will get to Andrade eventually. Unless then we're going to see a different Andrade come out. And hey, that's what can happen. But that's how I see it. Just the volume getting to Andrade. And as far as the Shakur Stevenson fight, facing Edwin de los Santos, I see, Shakur Stevenson winning. Most likely by, I want to say, unanimous decision or late round stoppage. With De Los Santos gonna give him problems, probably like I said in the first 3 rounds. But after that, I think he'll get figured out. And then, let's see, for Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis, I do expect this to be one of those back and forth fights. But I do think Devin Haney will have more control over the fight than not. So I'm gonna go with, like I said, Devin Haney by split decision. I don't see him stopping Regis Prograis, but I do see him making it to the cards. But if it does end by stoppage, I do think that it will probably be Prograis who does that. So yeah. Alright. So yeah, that's my boxing talk. Roundup, predictions, caught up for now. Also, a quick word on that Tim Tszyu versus Brian Mendoza fight. I saw that fight as well. I've just been watching boxing in my spare time. That was a decent fight. I actually like Brian Mendoza. I thought he was a tough, opponent, and it was really impressive still, I thought, win for Tim Tszyu. It may not have been like his best performance in the world by some people's standards, but I do think it was against a good opponent. He got a good W on his record, and yeah, I do think it was a pretty good fight. I don't know what's gonna happen from here. People say like Charlo may come back and fight him, and then there's talks of maybe Crawford fighting him. Who knows? But at this point, we can't really say at all. But yeah, either way, that's it for now. Let's get my little boxing roundup. We go back into other things, But thank you for listening. If you like this sort of stuff, you know what to do. Anyway, have a great day.